My sister accused me of stealing her $50,000 engagement ring at her wedding rehearsal, but when we checked the CCTV, her fiancé saw how she planted it and called off the wedding. I, 28F, never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am. The events of the past week have left me reeling, and I'm honestly not sure how to process everything that's happened. It all started with my sister's wedding rehearsal, and now I find myself caught in a whirlwind of family drama, legal threats, and unexpected twists. I'll do my best to recount the events as they unfolded, but please bear with me if I ramble a bit. Let me start by saying that I never imagined my sister would turn into the person she is today. Growing up, Olivia, 30F, and I were inseparable, the kind of siblings who finished each other's sentences and shared everything. But as we got older, the differences between us became more pronounced. She always had a taste for the finer things in life, while I was more laid back, content with the simple things. Our parents weren't exactly rich, but they always tried to give us what we needed. My sister, however, always seemed to want more. Things took a turn for the worse when I met my husband, Mike, 29M, 5 years ago. Mike comes from a working-class background, and while we're comfortable, we're certainly not wealthy. But it was never a concern for us because, slowly but steadily, our life was on the right track. On the other hand, Olivia was obsessed with status and appearances. Chasing money, she became friends with the wealthy kids in her college days and cultivated a circle of affluent friends. God knows how she maintained that lifestyle because she had on and off jobs, and mom and dad could only help so much. From the moment Mike and I got together, Olivia made it clear that she disapproved. We had a small wedding ceremony, not only because of the astronomically high expenses, but also because we only wanted our close friends and family with us on our special day. Olivia was not happy about that. I remember her judging every aspect of my wedding: my dress, the venue, the people, and whatnot. If this wasn't enough, she would also make snide comments about Mike's job as a software developer, criticize our modest apartment, and generally treat him with disdain. Despite this, Mike and I have built a happy life together. I hated how she mocked him, and that's why I rarely invited or visited her. There was one time she and I went on a double date with our partners, and she did not like the fact that her boyfriend, Richard, 35M, admired Mike's work. She kept making sarcastic remarks about Mike's company and bragged about how rich her boyfriend was. It was difficult to let that slide, but my husband taught me to mostly ignore Olivia's attitude. Also for Richard's sake, who is genuinely a nice guy. Getting back to the story, when Olivia got engaged to Richard a year ago, I was so happy to hear the news. I was also very pleased to receive an invitation to be a bridesmaid. I thought perhaps this was a chance for us to mend our relationship, even after our disagreements and different life choices. We were sisters, and I believed nothing could have separated us. How wrong I was. As the wedding day drew closer, I couldn't shake a nagging feeling that something was off. Being her bridesmaid, I offered Olivia any help she needed with the wedding, but she brushed it off, saying she had all of her friends in the city to help. It gradually dawned on me that she might be embarrassed by me and didn't want me around her rich friends. I decided to step back, figuring I would just attend the events and not intrude. Knowing Olivia, we knew that the wedding was set to be an extravagant affair with no expense spared. But I figured that was just her way. She deserved to have the wedding of her dreams, and I was excited to be a part of it. The rehearsal dinner was held at an upscale restaurant, and that's where everything started to unravel. So, the day of the wedding rehearsal arrived, and my husband and I made our way to the venue. It was a stunning location with beautiful gardens and a grand ballroom. Everything was perfect. As soon as we arrived, I noticed the way my sister was looking at us. It wasn't the warm, excited look I'd expected, but rather a cold, calculating gaze. I congratulated her and told her I was very happy for her, but Olivia's only answer was a curt sure. I brushed it off, thinking she was just stressed out from all the wedding planning. The rehearsal was going pretty smoothly. We were all mingling before dinner until, out of nowhere, my sister gasped dramatically and started frantically searching her purse. Everyone stopped and stared as she declared that her engagement ring was missing. Everyone started looking around, trying to help. Concerned, I offered to check under the tables, thinking maybe it had fallen. That's when Olivia's eyes locked onto me, and she looked at me with a look of pure accusation and said, "Did you take it?" Before I could say anything, Olivia fired off another accusation, claiming that I had always been jealous of her and must have pawned her ring to pay off my debts or something. The guests started whispering among themselves, and I could feel their judgmental eyes on me. I was stunned. Why would I steal my sister's ring? The only reason I was even there, after the way she had treated me in the past few years, was because I loved her and would never try to take her happiness away. I tried my best to explain my side, but it was to no avail. Olivia wasn't listening. She started ranting about how she had seen me buying her jewelry earlier, how I'd been suspiciously close to her purse. The accusations kept coming, each one more outlandish than the last. My parents were trying to calm my sister down. My husband was just as bewildered as I was, and we both kept trying to explain that this was all a misunderstanding. But Olivia was relentless. She kept insisting that I had taken the ring, even though there was no evidence to support her claim. Mike stepped in, trying to defend me, but that only seemed to fuel Olivia's anger. She turned on him, accusing him of being my accomplice. "You had to be the ones responsible for this," she argued, "because you have nothing compared to me." The absurdity of the situation was beyond belief. This was the woman who used to confide in me about her deepest fears, who would stay up late talking to me about her dreams. Now she was accusing me of something so vile, so completely out of character that I barely recognized her. The entire room was now in a state of chaos. Guests were exchanging uneasy glances, murmuring among themselves. Some of them had probably been on the receiving end of Olivia's sharp tongue before, but I don't think anyone expected this. The groom, Richard, was standing off to the side, looking increasingly uncomfortable. His family seemed utterly shocked, unsure of what to make of the situation. The whole scene felt surreal, like something out of a bad movie. Just as I thought things couldn't get any worse, Olivia's maid of honor, Melissa, chimed in and said that she had seen me hanging around Olivia's things earlier. She apparently thought that it didn't matter then. I couldn't believe what was happening. I tried to defend myself, to explain that I had only been near Olivia's things when I was helping her with her makeup, but it was like shouting into a void. No one seemed to be listening to reason. I continued to insist on my innocence, trying to maintain my composure, but the more I defended myself, the more convinced Olivia seemed to become that I was guilty. It was as if she had already made up her mind, and nothing I could say would change it. My parents, clearly distressed, kept glancing between us, trying to figure out what to do. They had always tried to be neutral, but I could see the doubt in their eyes. Was it possible they believed her? The thought made my heart sink. The situation escalated quickly. Olivia, seething with anger and desperation, demanded that I empty my pockets and purse in front of everyone. She insisted that if I had nothing to hide, I would comply. When I refused, stating that I shouldn't have to prove my innocence, she took my refusal as further proof of my guilt. Turning to the crowd with a triumphant look, as if my resistance had proven that she was right, she called for security to search Mike and me. That's when Richard finally spoke up and told Olivia that this had gone too far. He told the security guards to wait outside and told Olivia that it was completely idiotic to accuse her own family of something so heinous. He said that maybe we should all calm down and think about this rationally, but she was beyond reason at this point. She rounded on Richard, accusing him of taking her side over hers. The look on his face was one of dawning realization, as if he was seeing a side of his fiancée he had never witnessed before. Amid the chaos, I noticed something glinting on the floor near one of the tables. I bent down to pick it up and lo and behold, it was the missing ring. I asked Olivia if this was her ring, and instead of apologizing and being grateful like a normal human being, she did something that proved she had completely lost her mind. The room fell silent as she gave me a venomous look and muttered, "Of course it is, you thief." But before she could escalate the situation any further, Richard stepped in, visibly furious. He demanded that Olivia explain herself. In a calm voice, he told her that he had seen her earlier, when she deliberately placed the ring in my bag when I wasn't paying attention. She went silent. Her face flushed bright red, and it was clear she had been caught. The truth came out then. Olivia had staged the entire thing to frame me, all because she felt threatened by the fact that I had a happy life and she wanted to make me suffer. Richard, to his credit, immediately told Olivia that the wedding was off. He didn't want to marry someone capable of such deceit and malice. The aftermath was a blur. Olivia tried to deny everything, but it was clear to everyone what had happened. Mike and I left the rehearsal dinner as the tension hung thick in the air. I haven't spoken to Olivia since, and frankly, I don't know if I ever will again. Richard has since apologized to me and said he was blindsided by Olivia's behavior, and he's now dealing with the fallout. It's been a week since the rehearsal, and Olivia has sent me multiple texts and calls, all of which I've ignored. I'm still processing what happened, and I'm not sure how to move forward. Part of me still wants to believe that Olivia can change, but I don't know if I can ever trust her again. I feel like I've lost my sister. And for what? Because she was jealous and petty? I never thought I'd be in this position, but here I am. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that the person I grew up with is gone. Thanks for reading. I just needed to get this out.